All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me for the Coyote Radio Show and podcast. We just got back from a crazy week in Austin, Texas during South by Southwest. Had so much fun. There's music everywhere. We were invited down by Jason Hendrix, which I now consider a great friend. What a host. What a guy. Been on this great show at the Colton House under Meanwhile in Music. So if you don't already follow that, I got links in the description. Follow their pages, all the social media things. But we did four days of music basically during the days, and just absolutely packed it with talent, all different types too. It wasn't just like one style or genre. It was a wonderful blend of music. So yeah, I pretty much was there for the week, but in a few days I crammed in about 14 or 15 interviews, kind of down and dirty style. We didn't have a lot of time with artists because people are just coming and going crazy in all directions. But yeah, it was great to sit down and talk with several artists and kind of get where they're from, what projects they're working on, and kind of what their future plans were. So we kind of, grabbed the gist of it and went with it. So I hope you like these. We're going to roll them out. We're going to send a bunch of them out as fast as possible because we want this information to be current and up to date. But once again, hats off to Jason Hendrix, Meanwhile in Music. Thank you for inviting the podcast down. Hopefully we can do it again next year. And we love you, man. So, all right, let's go talk to some artists. All right, let's just cheers to that.
My man.
Cheers. Josh Langston's on the show. Thanks for taking the time to do this, man.
Man, thank you for having me. Thank you.
We're at the Colton House here in Austin, Texas. 4 days of music, just jam-packed. It's still early, first day, and it's already a great vibe. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you just took the stage and did your thing. And
man,
I love your voice, man. Your vocals are got
Thank
that raspy, old-time feel. Like
I appreciate that.
Kind of gritty.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, if you could, we're limited time, but where are you from? How you grew up? Just kind of.
Man, so
how'd you get into the music scene?
So I'm from officially from College Station, Texas. My dad was in the military, so we've been a few places, but that's where I'm from, and been making records and writing songs since I was 21 years old. I'll be 43 in a month and a half. So yeah, man. Got this new record coming out. Tastes Like Sin comes out on the 29th of March, and it's the first record I put out in 15 years. So
okay, so it's a big.
I took a long
deal.
break. My dad died unexpectedly in 2011, and I was kind of already taking a break at that time, but when he died, it turned it into a long break.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can imagine it could turn things upside down real quick.
For sure. Yeah.
That's great. It Tastes Like Sin is
Tastes
what it's
Like
called?
Sin is the new record. That's right. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's great. And that's the 28th?
The 29th of March.
29th.
Yeah.
So right.
It's coming.
Yeah. Well, in fact, by the time people are watching this, it might be out.
Right? Yeah.
We're not lying. We do some editing.
Sure. Yeah, man. And I'll get you. I'll run to the room, get you a CD. I got actual CD copies of it.
Oh, hell yeah! Already?
Yeah.
It's early.
Yeah, man. I've been selling those things since the end of August.
Yeah. So what's kind of like the? What'd you grow up on musically? Because I hear a lot of different stuff in your voice.
I grew up. I mean, what I really grew up on was Waylon Jennings, Hank Williams Jr.
Hell yeah.
My dad had all that stuff on vinyl, and I spent most of my teenage years, especially in trouble and grounded. And so I was in my room a lot listening to that stuff on vinyl. But I really didn't pick up the guitar until I was just before I turned 21. I was working in the oil field as a welder's helper, and a buddy of mine I was working with played a little guitar, and so I bought a guitar in a pawn shop and a chord book and kind of taught myself with his help. And about a year later, I quit and was playing gigs for money, and the rest is history.
That's great. A lot of people chase that dream.
22
so it's
years
great
later,
to see.
right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
I can only imagine. The names you listed there as far as inspiration, that's kind of like my home turf too.
Right.
Like
man.
I got Johnny Cash tattooed
sure.
right here, and that was the first thing my grandpa showed me back in the day, and
Yeah.
I was hooked ever since then. And I grew up on like punk rock and metal,
Right. Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But there was still this underlying back, you know. Next thing you know, now I play a little banjo.
Yeah.
It's just weird how
no
it works.
kidding. Yeah.
It's
Wonderful.
just crazy. But you tour a lot, or you?
Man, so I have been since about the middle of October. I kind of shut it down. Went through some pretty major life changes, getting divorced and moving halfway across the country. So I hadn't been playing a lot, but starting to ramp back up, and I'll be in Montana this weekend. And then just kind of some local to that region stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of regional stuff. Okay.
Get out of the winter.
That's a genius idea. Get out of the winter. I like that. That's kind of what I'm doing here too.
Yeah,
honestly,
I'm
from Indiana, so
man,
it's like I'm coming down to Texas during the winter months.
Man, it's the first time I've sweated in a while when I was on stage today. Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
That's great, man. I'm glad. So how many tracks are on this new record that's coming out?
Man, there's 8 tracks on it.
Okay.
We went with 8, trying to size it perfectly for vinyl, so it'll play well on vinyl. Probably release vinyl sometime in this summer.
Okay. Is
So that
it
was
a
kind
full
of
like a full band sound?
It definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I cut it. I've been making records since 2003, and it's the first time I've been able to record a record like in my hometown and sleep in my own bed. And
Yeah.
so where I cut it at, Grand Stafford Theater is a venue there in Bryan, Texas. Bryan and College Station is kind of 2 towns together there.
Okay.
And in downtown there, and they built a studio up in the loft called South Main Recordings, and so we made it there with some fantastic musicians. Colin Colby's a bass player. He had played with Charlie Crockett right up until the pandemic, and he left the band then. And
Love
Tony
Charlie.
Brown
Yep.
was one of the producers and played the guitar on the record. And Tony played for a band called Sons of Fathers, which was a Paul Cawthon and David Beck duo thing. That was a pretty big deal
Okay.
some years back. And Alan Green playing drums. Alan Green Jr. probably won I think last year he was the Drum of the Year in the Texas Music Awards. So we had a bunch of great players on it.
You got a heavy hitter list right there.
For sure. Yeah.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're stoked. You got me stoked.
Man, I'm ready for it to
Is
come out.
28th?
It's
Yeah,
been done. I think we wrapped studio time on that album in, I think at the end of June. So I've been listening to it. It's been done for quite a while. I'm
Yeah.
ready for it to be out.
You're probably already
Absolutely.
thinking about the next record.
Oh,
at
that's
this
absolutely
point. Yeah.
true. Absolutely.
I understand that for sure. Well, thank you for
Man,
being
thank you so
on and
much for
sharing your
having me.
story. I
Thank
know
you
it's
so much.
short and sweet, but
No, man, it's great. Thank you for having me. I
this is
appreciate
great.
it.
All the links are in the description. Is there any other, like, you got your own website?
Man, website is JoshLangstonBand.com, I believe. Facebook's going to be The Josh Langston. Instagram also _Josh_Langston. So
Okay.
I had my Facebook hacked a couple years ago, so I had to become The Josh Langston instead of just Josh Langston. So
Oh, man. I hate all this social media stuff. But
Man.
At the same time, you have to.
like
do
I
it.
said,
You
I'm
gotta do it.
almost 43 years old, so it has been an
Yeah.
adjustment to. You used to just put records out and go play shows, and that was the extent of it. Now there's a lot more.
Yeah, let's extra. Yeah. But all right, man.
wonderful.
Cheers for being on.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you so
like I
much
said,
for
links
having
are in
me.
the description. Go check out Josh and his music, and
Wonderful.
we'll catch you next time.